Cold open question of the week, Kaz.
Hey, Shoes. What's up? My bad. What up, Shoes? Sorry.
Everybody who wrestled this weekend.
If you can't tell, this is the second take of the cold open question of the week. I don't know how to explain it to you. But go ahead, Dave. My bad.
Of everybody on AEW All Out and WWE's inaugural WrestlePalooza.
Yeah.
Which loss hit you the hardest?
Out of everybody. I mean,
out of everybody.
You know what? I'm gonna say our friend of the show, Kyle Fletcher, his loss hurt the most, I think. And I'm going the opposite way of everybody. I think everybody who watched the show, watched the main event of All Out, was like, "Oh man, what a showing! That kid's really a main eventer. He's really arrived." But
no, he is,
and he has. But I feel like he didn't need that main event to know that. Like, you didn't need that main event to know that Kyle Fletcher is the goods, right? Like, he's awesome. I would have loved to see them just shock the world and just put the title on Kyle Fletcher. I thought that would have been just like a really cool ass moment coming out of All Out. But everybody else that lost, I kind of expected to lose. Like John Cena getting his ass handed to him, expected.
But it didn't hurt your heart a little bit to see John Cena get his ass handed to him?
As soon as I saw them kids coming out, I'm like, if 9 out of 12 of those kids aren't in tears at the end of this match, it hasn't been done well. So yeah, perfect calling of the shot over there on the booking on how that match is going. As soon as you brought out the mini Cenas, I'm like, oh yeah, we're making kids cry today. That's how we start up the partnership.
That's how we're gonna do it. Yeah, I gotta say, I thought Cena. I'll just say the Cena ending didn't shock me.
No,
but it's still not a fun one to watch. I was wondering if you would go with Fletcher, though. I mean, because I know how pro Fletcher you were. I was expecting, but I didn't know if it was actually going to affect you.
Nah, you know what? I feel like if you watched Cena Lesnar expecting a Matt Classic or like Cena to continue like the string of great pay-per-view matches he's had with like Cody and Logan Paul and Punk and all those dudes, I'm like, you haven't seen a Brock Lesnar match in the past 10 years then. Because that was a by-the-numbers Brock Lesnar match. You get a little bit of offense and then you die.
Yeah.
That's what Brock does. It's the moments that he actually gives is what surprises you, and that's what makes Brock a special sort of attraction. Like, this is what he does. He comes in, kills you, leaves. Nobody's happy. Like, that's what he does. That is 90% of Brock Lesnar's.
Nobody's happy, including the fans.
No one's happy. No one. Brock Lesnar is never here for people to be like, oh man, Brock Lesnar really brought his working boots today. Like, no, he's there to kill people. That's the whole point. That is Brock Lesnar. That's why
it's like wrestling a gun or something. Yeah, it's like it's like wrestling a bomb.
That's why he's a human adjective. It's like when people just say, "Oh, you got Brock Lesnar," or like you just use him to describe stuff. Like, that's the reason he kills people. That's his job. And if you didn't think John Cena was walking in there to get killed in front of children for the first time on ESPN, you don't know ball. You haven't watched a lot of shows in a while.
All right, fair enough. We got a lot of pay-per-view / PLE content to discuss. Let's start the show.
Let's start.
Welcome to the Masked Man Show with Kaz. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Shoes. How about yourself, man?
I'm doing good. Had a great Saturday of wrestling watching. Kicked up my feet. And I mean, listen, I appreciate AEW for changing the start times. I know they talked about doing that permanently. That's it makes it easier to watch, but it's a lot of wrestling. There was a lot, but it was a fun day, man. Just watching everything back to back. What was your favorite match of the entire Saturday?
Oh, man. It is between Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer. And I mean, it'd be easy to go Fletcher.
I was gonna say, did the Fletcher
Hangman
ending put you off to that on that match?
Nah, you know what it is? I think the bar was just set at such a high level already that like you knew the match was going to be great. Like we never go into AEW pay-per-views being like, oh man, this match might be a stinker. Like you know it's going to be great.
Hell yeah.
But like, you know, as far as like my favorites, I mean, gosh. Yeah, it's probably it still did its job. I love the ladder match too. I love, you know, I think the Young Bucks have just really found their groove again, man. Like I think those guys, storyline wise, the whole being broke and getting some money and just, you know, just becoming interesting again, right? Like just something as
that's
simple
the real
as becoming
journey,
interesting, you know. So I really like that ladder match as well. But those are great. Fletcher Hangman was great. Io Sky, Stephanie Vaquer, and low key the Bronze and the Usos was a.
Well, that was a weird one. I mean, I enjoyed the first half of it until Jay busted himself open, and then
and they had to get home quick. But it was trending towards like, oh man, this is actually a great matchup right now. But you know, there was a lot of good wrestling and there was a lot of not so good wrestling this past week.
I mean, I don't think there was a lot of bad wrestling. It was just
I don't think it was bad. Nah.
Let's talk about it. I mean, our friend of the pod, Andreas Hale, and his ESPN.
They're trying to fry my man Andreas on the top line right now. I'm not standing for it.
First of all, this dude knows his shit. He's he's a wonderful person. And
combat sports in general.
And what do you want? You want him to go? You want him to go fry WWE? Like, the first show they're doing with ESPN just because he writes for ESPN? The only reain people are paying attention to his ratings are because of the ESPN crossover.
The only reason
would we really be okay with him just slobbering all over him? No, we want them to be critical. That's part of the deal.
That's the only reason why this is even a story, right? It's because of the ESPN crossover.
It's true, and not for nothing. I mean, if it weren't for the ESPN crossover writ large, which is, I mean, the creation of WrestlePalooza for the commemoration, you know, to kick this partnership off. I mean, if it weren't a WrestlePalooza, and this was a Saturday night's main event, would you have given it an A? I mean, come on, there was not that much difference.
I said I echoed the same exact statements as Andreas. I said the show was solid. I think the most newsworthy thing to happen about WWE on ESPN was the fact that WWE was on ESPN. That was it. Like watching like the programming, all the hype around it, the crossovers between like the main ESPN shows and WWE stars, like that was the big takeaway from everything, because everything on the show was basically like a welcome to WWE show. If you haven't watched WWE before, here's like a paint by the numbers show that you could expect on any night, like on a Saturday night's main event, on a Raw or a SmackDown, or what this was, a mid-level run-of-the-mill.
Here's the thing, though. I don't disagree with anything you said.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one that made the Saturday night's main event reference. I mean, clearly I don't.
But
however...
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it did feel like they were really pulling out the stops for WrestlePalooza in the build, at least in the match structure. This is where we're going to put Cena versus Brock. This is where we're going to do the AJ Lee return and have Punk and AJ. I mean, that's a big match. That's a WrestleMania match, right? I mean, the mixed tag. I guess the name of the event makes a big difference, because the difference between this and Saturday night's main event was that it was WrestlePalooza. It was the first ever WrestlePalooza. And I feel like if they had almost like, I feel like it would have changed the perception of it if they'd even gone a step further and just straight up messaged like, this is the new WrestleMania. Like we're considering this one. Forget SummerSlam. This is the number 2 of the big 2. Nope. Like this is it. No, I'm just saying.
This is our fault, Dave. This is our fault, and this is WWE's fault. This is the trap. This is the thing that WWE falls into a lot sometimes, right? Like these big moments of big hype and big rollout, like nobody does look how big and special we are better than WWE, right?
Sure.
When they're moving the peacock, everything that's moving the peacock is the most biggest, special, most important, badass thing ever. When they're moving to Netflix, this is the biggest, most special, most badass thing ever. Moving to ESPN, it feels like you do that same sort of thing where you hype it up.
Yeah.
And anything less than like an earth-shattering moment on one of these big debuts on a new network or a new partnership or just a new way of watching the program. Kind of feels like a little bit of a letdown because that's what WWE does. Like when they're doing something new, when they're trying to bring in new audiences or new eyes or something like that, like they usually save some big pow for that show. And WrestlePalooza, outside of, I guess, John Cena getting killed on the first in the first match. What? And I guess the Stephanie McMahon Hall of Fame announcement, like there really wasn't much of a.
It's September.
Okay.
How early is too early to sell it to put someone in the Hall of Fame? I feel like now that it's like every Hall of Fame announcement is like Triple H or the Undertaker like sneak attacking somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That they're gonna have to go earlier and earlier to get the surprise in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, they kind of put themselves in the weird position. I mean, shout out Stephanie McMahon; she deserves it, right? Like,
sure,
she's an absolute legend. But at the same time, it's like, yo, WWE right now, and this is what I said on the podcast last week, right? Like why they felt like creatively a little bit of a rut, and something needs to pop off for to justify like how much hype this is getting, or else this was going to happen. What people are talking about, the reviews. Andreas Hale has been doing WWE and pro wrestling reviews on ESPN for the better part of the last couple years, right?
He's been keeping that alive. Yeah, Greg Wyszynski, also friend of the pod, Greg Wyszynski did a preview for him too. I mean, there's some WWE fans over there, but no. Andreas knows his stuff. Andreas is right.
But what I'm saying is this is exactly why I said somebody needed to jump out the window at WrestlePalooza, figuratively speaking. Like something big, major, earth-shattering had to happen because the way this was being hyped up, the way it was just inescapable, it was so much hype. A lot of folks, myself included, didn't really feel like it was fair to compare what WWE was going for and what AEW was going for this weekend. They were playing two completely different games. And WWE is masters of the hype game. Mm-hmm. The hype is always going to be 10 out of 10, A+, 100%. This is the biggest, most important thing ever. But now when you're bringing WWE, not just to a new platform, to ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, like you are officially like big time. You are officially like, we take you seriously now.
Mm-hmm.
And to put out, your first offer, if you go there and look and say this was WWE's best offer as far as like premium live events, you're lying to yourself. It wasn't their best offer.
No.
It was their average show, which is why a C is fair, which is why saying it was solid is fair. We'll just say it was all right, was fair.
Well, so the ring work wasn't the best in the history of mankind. There was some really good wrestling, but you had two of your best wrestlers. Well, I mean, you had four of your best wrestlers. I'm not talking just strictly bell to bell, but the four that were in the intergender match, the mixed tag. I mean, those matches are just hard to pull off, man. I mean, that's just, it's all about the storytelling. It's not about the action. Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer delivered. I mean, they could take it to another level, but like it delivered. Like that was an A, man. I mean, that match was incredible. But yeah, I mean, and Brock Cena was the story they decided to tell. What was your take on Brock Cena? Was it deliberately a throwback to the other times Brock has squashed Cena? Like that's why it's part of the retirement tour? Or do you think we're getting Brock Cena rematch for his last match and Cena's going to go over?
If I would guess, right? Like, I don't, and I've been racking my brain with this. We've been racking our brain with this about the last Cena opponent, right? Mm-hmm. Like, everything sort of seems to be pointing towards Brock Lesnar now. Like,
you think so?
I think so. Like, I think bringing Brock back, having him dominate the way he did. Let's not forget, like, John Cena's like literally probably only beat Brock one time on pay-per-view. I think it was his first match back from Extreme Rules with that freaking, when he jumps over the ring ropes and off the steps and does that crazy shit. Like, Brock Lesnar whips John Cena's ass his entire career. It's always been the story. Like, John Cena is this, even in the beginning when he was still rapping and he was Dr. Thugonomics, like he was sort of like the annoying gnat to Brock Lesnar's like, I'm up here, you're down here sort of thing. And that story is still kind of being told. John Cena has never been able to dominate Brock Lesnar. He's never been able to really figure out Brock Lesnar. So, I mean, something really tells me if you brought Brock Lesnar back and you're not really getting John Cena until November, it seems like. If I were to guess, I think Brock Lesnar gets the winner of the crown jewel match, which would be, Cena, Seth versus Cody. And I think you run Brock Lesnar probably versus Cody Rhodes at, Survivor Series, War Games. And Lois the Keys wouldn't be shocked if the last John Cena match is your WWE World Champion Brock Lesnar versus John Cena.
Well, I know Brock's back for more than just a short term. I can say that with some confidence. Yeah. But you think they're going to do Brock versus the crown jewel winner?
That's my guess. They bookended the show, right? Like, Brock and Cena opening, Cody and Drew closing. Storyline wise, they haven't ever really gone back to the Brock Cody story about, Brock essentially like christening Cody Rhodes as a main eventer at SummerSlam all those years ago. And honestly, John Cena getting his ass handed to him like that elevates Cody Rhodes also, because you can now tell the story of the last person being able to get the best of Brock Lesnar is the world champ. And you got a stadium to fill up in about a month and change in November. And oh, by the way, fans don't jump out the window. They'll be back on ESPN again in about 3 weeks. And then another 3 weeks after that. And another 3 weeks after that. So it's like, I think a lot of people maybe judging this first sort of offering from WWE ESPN as if it's like a one-off or something like that. It's like, no, they're going to have other opportunities to do better than this. And this just seemed like a table setter to me. It didn't seem like the thing that was going to supplant WrestleMania. It didn't seem like the event that was going to be like your new version of SummerSlam or anything like that. It seemed like a nice table setter for how we're going to have our premium live events going forward on ESPN. Nothing too crazy. Some great wrestling. Stephanie and Io, crowning the new women's world champion. Amazing match there. But everything else just seemed like a match that we've all seen before. Like Cody and Drew, we've kind of seen that a lot. And
don't deny that.
Like Jey Uso, the Usos and the Bronze, great match. I really enjoyed it. But it wasn't anything we hadn't seen before, obviously, outside of what happened with Jey, and that was a complete accident. The mixed tag match, I thought the mixed tag match was really good as well. But they can do better. Like all these things were like table setters for other things. Like none of these matches, none of the matches on WrestlePalooza seemed like blow-offs, right? Like every match had an out. Drew has his out with the leg.
Now what was
Punk
up with that
AJ,
match?
I don't know. It was weird. Like
okay, hold on. Put a pin in it. Yeah. We're already going against what we said.
My bad. Yes, you're right. All
AEW called the date. So let's get to that. Talk about a show with some good wrestling. Wait, do you want to start? I mean, you want to go back to the Hangman versus Kyle Fletcher thing? Because I don't want to belabor this point. It would have been shocking if Kyle Fletcher had won, but we had just sort of talked ourselves into, hey, let's why does AEW need to like shake things up? Yeah,
shocking is cool. Like I kind of feel
and they needed it. When I was talking to my wife before the event, she was like, is this a huge show for both of them? And I was like, is it the big matches? I'm like, it's less about the matches and more at this point, and more about the fact that with them sort of going head to head, not literally, but now figuratively, that they both there's a potential they both do some wild stuff just to own the conversation, right? AEW did some of that. They didn't do it in the main event, right? We got the Chris Statlander win in the AEW Women's Championship match. Big shock. Like even the people that
that was a shock.
Even if you're following Stat's storyline pretty closely, I think there are some people who would talk themselves into like a Chris wins with the Death Riders helping her sort of situation, but just a clean win, like nobody called that, right? There was, there's just a lot of good stuff. I mean, Eddie Kingston's return, Mark Briscoe's return. Beth Phoenix is back. That was the other big debut. Back, she's came there to help Adam Copeland and Christian. So there were some moments, but they're way out. Nothing like the world title changes hands kind of moment.
Yeah, I mean, I thought probably the biggest moment of the night was the reunion of, Jurassic Express.
I totally forgot that one. Yeah, that was a huge one.
Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. I thought that was a cool moment, and I'm hoping we're getting rid of that scapegoat shit. Like, just rinse yourself of the sins of the CM Punk fuck up. All right, like
we got rid of the kill switch shit. So now it's just Luchasaurus. Maybe they should just make instead of it won't just go the other way. Luchasaurus isn't a dinosaur anymore; he's a goat, and so they can have it could be Jack Perry and the scapegoat.
Leave all the scapegoat shit away. I'm done. Like, we get it, bro. Like, it was your fault CM Punk left. It happens. Let's just move on.
It happens. Right? Listen, a lot of people have been the reason CM Punk left.
Exactly. You aren't the first
Ryback. Who else?
They didn't make whole gimmicks about it, all right? Like, let's just leave it alone. Let's just go back to the shit that we loved you for, which is, put the loincloth back on for a hot second. You know what I mean? Just do your thing. And be Luke Perry's cool son. But I thought that was the big shock outside of Chris Statlander winning the AEW Women's World Championship. But, I thought there could be a really cool story of Kyle Fletcher getting too much too soon, youthful exuberance. Flukes happen, man. Like, I feel like we get into this thing about like pro wrestling booking where it's like, oh, it's not his turn yet. It's like, who gives a shit? Like, a lot of times, like, it's not a lot of people's turn. Like, it wasn't Buster Douglas's turn. Like, that happens sometimes. Like, flukes happen. Like, it's okay to have a fluke here and there. And it's okay to have a short title run, especially if the kid is super young and super inexperienced, but talented. You can tell a very logical story about a kid who was mad talented, but is too young to really know his right from his left as far as like mistakes are concerned. Hangman can make a slip up a mistake. And you could make a very convincing story of why this dude who is young and has the world in front of him could be champ for a month and lose it and then climb back to become a champion that everyone could be proud of, a la Randy Orton, a la Sheamus, a lot of these people. This happened plenty of times, and you could have did it. Doesn't mean it was a whack event. I just thought it would have been a cool thing to do, and a person who it made sense to do it with would have been Kyle Fletcher and Hangman. So, but didn't take away from the match. The match was great. We knew the match was going to be
so good. The only thing I didn't like about the match was the ending. The only thing I didn't like about the match is that as soon as Kyle Fletcher I was going to say as soon as he put Hangman up on the top rope, but it was even a little bit before that you could just tell the pace and the storytelling was going in such a direction that Fletcher was about to get his big shit in and then lose the match. It just felt it felt very obvious, which just doesn't take away from what they'd done up to that point. But when a guy walks in as an underdog, is to the degree that Fletcher did, you got to tell this. You got to trick us a little bit more in the closing stanza. Maybe I'm being too particular. But
yeah, maybe. But
it was a fantastic match. It was an absolutely great match. The tag match, as you said, go in reverse order here, was very good. Brodito retained against the Bucks, Jet Speed, and the Callis family. Really enjoyed that one. There's a lot of madness on that. A lot of spots that I couldn't even tell if they were the right if you hit the ladder the right way or accidentally. Like, there's some moments in that one. As mentioned, the Statlander win was shocking. Tony Storm played the role of the shocked, now former champion to a T. I don't mind Statlander winning. I think there could be a lot to do with Statlander winning. And I think in some ways framing the top of the division as Tony Storm did by calling out Hayter, Thekla, and Statlander now makes the Statlander reign a little bit more interesting. Because sure, she's got Tony Storm to deal with, but we also know who the other two big guns are in her division. That's to say nothing of Mercedes, who retained her TBS championship against Rio. Let's talk a little bit about the coffin match. What did you think?
Very shocked at the return of Pac. As
that's the other big surprise. I told you there's so many surprises. I keep forgetting them.
I was about to say
Pac made his big return at the end of the match with short hair,
with a haircut. Our foremost fashion, wrestling fashionista, David Shoemaker. What do you think of Pac going full Oasis? Noel Gallagher, with the short.
Noel Gallagher. That's what I was. I think our group chat, we determined it was like stinky Johnny Gargano was the look that we had. My first reaction is to hate everything about it. I've previously said my instinct, not my reaction. I previously said that Pac is like one of a very small group of guys who should never wear street clothes, but part of that's because when he would wear street clothes, and his glasses, he would look like a, middle school chemistry teacher or something like that. But this is a different look. It was a deliberate, the oversized black t-shirt looked good. The short hair. I don't know, man. What he really looks like is he looks like a UFC fighter. He looks like
one of those Russian those
Dagestani guys. No, but he has to shave his mustache for that. But there is a little bit of that vibe for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you really want to shoot about it, long hair in general is just to make yourself feel or look cool. It's not about expedience. That doesn't help you win any matches. Unless you're a dude who uses his hair to his advantage, man. Unless you're Bianca Belair.
Right.
I don't know, man. I kind of like it. I liked it more than I would. If you had told me ahead of time, I would have said no. Pac is like the Undertaker. Just never change your look, no matter what. Never come out in street clothes. But the Undertaker's out there, hanging out in tinted shades, inducting people in the Hall of Fame. So I guess everything could change.
Yeah. I'm glad he had real clothes for the first time. That was definitely a welcome change.
Should they just do this permanently with the Undertaker? Like his new gimmick is he just inducts people into the Hall of Fame? Just shocking Undertaker appearance. And then, hey, you're in the Hall of Fame. That'd be great.
He's like I think that's what they do now. It kind of is reminiscent of what the NFL and Major League Baseball do, where they just ring your doorbell and they're just like,
no, that would be great. That's really actually what they should do. And they're not doing that. Dude, if the Undertaker showed up with a WWE blazer at, whatever, right. Hacksaw Jim Duggan's house, that would be video we would all want to see.
I watched the hell out of that. But they lit Jon Moxley on fire afterwards.
After the match.
They lit him on fire. I thought, I was doing screen on screen at that point. I was like, all right, I'm jumping in between WrestlePalooza and all that at that moment. And then my attention gets drawn away for a second. I look over on the other screen. I'm like, not only is Darby Allin alive and free, but he's managed to set Jon Moxley on fire. I don't know, man. That was a little nuts. That was
they opened up the coffin and he just popped out. He was
Is that what happened? I was like, oh yeah.
He was just in there waiting for everybody. It was strange.
So that was my thing. My thing was the coffin match kind of had this set up. Somebody had to go away after this, right? Coffin matches aren't necessarily matches that let you to believe that they're going to be on Dynamite on Wednesday or Raw on Monday or something like that. So when Jon Moxley
But usually that's because they put you in the coffin, not because you were set fire after the match.
Right. So that's why I was kind of like, okay, that's new and that's different. And I like that. Because initially I'm thinking, well, Mox is going to lose this. Darby's going to finally be solidified. And how many times we talk about Jon Moxley needing a vacation. As soon as he won again, I'm like, yo, this guy really must love wrestling because he's never
going to take a vacation.
And then a couple of segments later, he's lit on fire in the body bag. And I'm like, okay, that's better. Now you can go away for some time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird that they wrote somebody off without it being actually the ending of the match. But, it was a good way to re-debut Pac.
It was a Marvel end credit scene was that. That's right.
It's totally right.
Stay after the credits. Someone's going to
die. Jesus Christ, there's trees falling in my backyard left and right. Looks like a battle royal out there. Sorry, we have the tree people.
Oh, good.
Here today. Yeah. What's your take on Daniel Garcia as part of the Death Riders?
I must say, as a proud member of the very, very small people who actually started to enjoy the Death Riders unironically for a lot earlier than other
You're
people
part of
did.
that. You're part of the Team Death Riders, yeah.
Yeah, for a hot second. I think Daniel Garcia definitely needed this, right? Like
he needed something for sure.
He needed something, man. He can't just keep humping people's faces. Like the dance was like great, but this seems like a little bit more Daniel Garcia's speed. And John Moxley, in some way, shape, or form, has sort of like transformed himself to this like purveyor of young talent now, right? Like just bringing the savage out of kids that are like good, but needed that little something extra. We've kind of seen it with Wheeler Yuta, seen it with Marina Shafir, and I think Garcia probably needed it more than anybody.
Listen, I don't totally disagree, but I feel like Wheeler Yuta is my argument against putting Daniel Garcia with this group. Like, how has Wheeler Yuta gotten 1% better since he's been with the Death Riders?
Oh, because people give a fuck about him now, right? Like he's still the same wrestler, but I think
But people give about okay. So when he joined the Death Riders, people started caring about him like 20% more, but now I don't feel like it's gone up since that moment. Yeah, that's the point. It's like you got to evolve, you got to grow.
I think he's so hated. I think he's like kayfabe hated, and like I don't know if the correct wrestler insider term, like, what is it? Go away heat? Is that what it's called or something like that? I don't think he has
go away heat, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, I think if you read online or people that aren't fans of Wheeler Yuta, you would think it's go away heat. But I'm like, nah, man, I think he's working exactly the sort of role he's supposed to be working. Like, I don't think you're supposed to like that guy. Like he's supposed to come off like this mangy sort of like.
He's not mangy enough. He's not.
He's pretty mangy. That hair is a little.
No, that looks like he's washed that hair. Looks like he sleeps in some sort of bonnet. I'm just saying.
Yeah. He doesn't get all the oils out of it. Still very slick. Still very greasy. You know what I mean? So, not a big fan of the grease right there. But I don't hate it. And here's the thing. I think Daniel Garcia was one of those guys who, when he got to AEW, especially when he re-signed his new deal with AEW, you'd expect to be put in bigger spots. And no matter what you think, the Death Riders are a big spot now. They're kind of like the Judgment Day of AEW, right? Like they're kind of like that group that can now shuffle in new players and show that could shuffle in new players and keep them sort of relevant. I thought they were kind of going to go away after somebody beat them, after Hangman beat them.
Yeah, same.
I kind of thought they'd be done, but now that they're starting to sort of like turn into this thing, and Pac's back and Garcia's a part of them and all this type of stuff, it's like, all right, I guess they're not. So I don't hate it because I'm a big Daniel Garcia fan and I want to see him in relevant spots on TV. And they're relevant, whether you like them or don't like them. They are, whatever they do, their entrance, the way they come to the ring, the music, all that stuff, like it's an important part of the show. So I like it better than the stuff he was doing with Daddy Magic and those guys.
Mox should change the name of his finishing move to John Moxley's impending vacation. But yeah, no, I listen.
Oatmeal, guys.
To me, there's Daniel Garcia dressing tough has a very like I don't know, like guest editorial during Weekend Update on SNL vibe to it, doesn't it? Doesn't he seem just like? Doesn't it seem like he's like Mikey Day playing like a rough kid from Boston with some opinions?
But he's from Buffalo, so it's a real story. You know
I guess.
I went to Buffalo. I looked around there for a couple of hours. I'm like, oh yeah, this definitely seems like a place Daniel Garcia grew up at. This definitely seems like some West Side Gun inspired lyrics that took place around here.
Okay, so, if you say so, man.
I ain't never gonna try and say Buffalo ain't a little rough around the edges. It definitely is. So I think it fits. I don't think he's cosplaying. I think this is more naturally him than him shaking his meat in front of people's faces. Like, I think
that I agree with.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm just not used to anybody that like that was not wearing like a freaking do-rag and hoodie before and now is, it makes me suspicious. That's
takes some getting used to.
Yeah. I get it if all you've ever known is the do-rag and the hoodie. Right? If you're just like a hoodie from day one kind of guy, that's like my son. But if you're dressing up and then all of a sudden you're like, nah, I'm a hoodie guy from now on. I mean, come on. It's suspicious. It's like, what, did you get fired? You know,
Daniel Garcia, I think Daniel Garcia came to Wale Mania. Both Wale Manias I see him at in hoodies.
No, I mean on screen. I don't know what he's doing in his regular life, but that's fine. That's fine. Listen, I'm not going to complain about the hoodie anymore. It's silly.
You are a resident wrestling fashionista. You need to complain about wardrobe choices for these people. It means everything. Wardrobe but everybody thought
Statlander was going to join the crew. Do you think there's still a chance for that? Do you think is the Death Riders just an ever expanding faction at this point? Get your applications in.
I think they are the Judgment Day of AEW, where it's like, oh, they're not gonna. I think a lot of people probably thought they'd be done when like Edge left, and then like Damian Priest joins, and like all these other people join. Like Death Riders might go on for another like 3 years, and we'd be like, yo, they had a lot more staying power than I thought they'd have. You know, would you be shocked if they continued for the next several years now? Like they don't just go away?
Would I be shocked if no, I mean, whatever. I mean, and Moxley's is kind of in that, like, you know, I get to do whatever I want to do phase of his career. And that's fine.
That seems like his whole AEW career, my point of view.
I'm just saying the Death Riders will continue as long as Mox wants to keep doing it, right?
They're kind of getting over, man. Like they went from like hated to ironically liked to like, you know, maybe I was chronically on.
I know it's almost like you got to ignore them before they start doing something meaningful.
Yeah,
not the Death Riders, just kind of anybody now. It's like it felt a little bit forced, so we're all against it, and you know what? It's just it's weird.
It's the wrestling cycle, man. That's how it works usually.
Totally true. That match was a lot of fun, though. I mean, Darby just starts off the whole thing, jumping off the balcony. That's like as close as you can get to starting the Hell in a Cell match on top of the cage.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Are you a fan of the stabby?
I wasn't as offended by it this time as I was last time. I don't mean offended like they shouldn't do it. I just mean like I wasn't like shocked. I wasn't like clutching my pearls this time. Yeah, I thought it was fine. Now that we know that it's like a thing, and I don't know, you get used to it. You know what I mean?
Stabby. Go crazy.
I'm still not
crazy about the stabbies. I'll be honest. I'm still not. Crazy about it.
I didn't mind it in the context there, but yeah, I mean, it does open up a lot of sort of unnecessary kayfabe questions, right? Just like, well, if you're going to do that, why don't you do fill in the blank?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if stabbing people in the head is on the table, just go for the A order, man. Just go for the whole thing. Why not? Take it out.
We talked a little bit about Pac. Another big return at All Out that was announced was the return of Eddie Kingston. Took on Big Bill, 7-minute match, botched ending. But how happy were you to see Eddie Kingston back?
Super happy to see Eddie Kingston back. I'm a big fan of Eddie Kingston. Match left a lot to be desired, though, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? Like, it was an all right match. It was just good to see him there. It was good to hear the music. It was good to, you know, see Big Bill in a decent spot there. But man, one of the cardinal rules of pro wrestling is we always remember the ending, and everything before the ending could have been solid, but like when it ends like that, it's hard to not judge it harshly and just be like, yeah,
that's the truth.
And it's the other way around. Like you can have a whack match, but if the ending is fire, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
people just remember that.
Totally true.
It's just the way it is, man. And it sucks that that's how Eddie Kingston came back. A little confused about not confused, but how many mentors does Hook need, right? Like, every time, like Hook just seems like somebody who's just looking for somebody to teach him how to be a badass. And it's like, it's not Taz, it's not Samoa Joe. I guess you're about to give Eddie Kingston a shot now. And see how that goes. But yeah, man. How do you fix Hook? How do you get Hook ready? Does he just need to just get his?
I don't know, man.
Hook is heading down high lottery, but low delivering trajectory. I don't want to name any specific names because any name is going to sound disrespectful. But it's like heading towards Darko Milicic territory.
Ooh, well, I don't know if he had that much hype, but I guess. I mean,
Darko had a lot of hype. They're like, "Yo, this mellow kid who just went to
no,
the
I don't. I'm saying, I don't know. I don't know if
Hook
had. I don't know if Hook had Darko hype, but maybe did he?
No, I don't know if he had that. See, Darko's not even like the best sort of compare. Hook is CJ Stroud, yo. Hook is CJ Stroud from the Houston Texans. That's
oh my God.
He had a spark when he started, but now
that's right.
he's just really trying to figure it out. All right. Like he could have been, he's definitely rookie of the year. He was definitely one of those guys that came in that was like, oh, this guy's gonna take over the league. Just give him some time. But just every time out I see him, and the same thing with CJ Stroud, I'm just like, yo, like he's regressing. Like he's not getting more confident. He's getting less confident. Like he doesn't look more of a he doesn't look the part of a main top level guy yet, but he still keeps getting these top level comparisons and opportunities.
Yeah. You got a problem with
draft
that?
pick? Yeah, because it's like if we're gonna keep hyping up all these nepo babies, right? If nepo babies run wrestling and like only people get
wrestling. First of all,
if
there's any world in which being a nepo baby should be acceptable, it's wrestling.
Of course. Right?
Well, NFL football quarterbacks, it helps. It helps. You got to sort of get into it at a young age,
It's like
this is not a Shedeur Sanders reference. I'm just saying it's like it helps.
It could have been an Arch Manning reference. Maybe he needs a couple Sam Houston States to beat up on for a little bit to get some confidence back. You know what I mean? Like Arch Manning and Hook, probably also a little parallel as well, man. You got to get him some guys. You got to get him some tomato.
Taz is the what? Taz is like the Manning. What's the father's name?
Archie Manning.
Archie Manning. So Taz is the Archie Manning of pro wrestling?
I guess so. I guess so in this situation. But nah, I'm probably belaboring this point too much, but it remains
no, you're
to be
not.
seen
You're not. You're not. You're right. I think it has less to do with the nepo thing for me and more to do with
he hasn't improved. He's the same guy he was when he first came in. He's the same exact character. He still can't really.
I would kind of make the same case about it for Wheeler Yuta, just because he switched allegiances a time or two.
At least people care to boo Wheeler Yuta. You know what I mean? Like at least people care to chant Wheeler sucks.
I think Hook is more. I think Hook is more. The crowd is more invested in Hook than Wheeler Yuta. Disagree?
I disagree. I think just because people boo you, they care. If they cheer you, they care. If you get no reaction, that's the worst. And Hook is getting like close to no reaction. Like they're happy to see him, but compare those reactions. Compare his all-out entrance to the entrances he used to get when he was coming out to Action Bronson and suplexing people and leaving in like 3 or 4 minutes. You know what I mean? Like he used to get like freaking like Goldberg pops when he would come out when that music.
Yeah, but that's a gimmick. I mean, I don't know.
But it was working.
Yeah, but it's not sustainable in like a proper wrestling company where you can look around and be like, oh yeah, Hook's half the size of the rest of these guys.
Well, that's why he has his third mentor in 3 years now. He has his third OG. And it's just like, how many OGs do you need, bro? Like eventually we gotta see if you can fly, And
I'm just saying, yeah, it is weird. The mentorship process in AEW is odd. I think we could just say that with some confidence, right? I mean, it's like Moxley is in the best shape of his career. Hangs out with Claudio Castagnoli. We're the best shape on earth.
The most Shafir
looks like she's jacked. And yet these other dudes don't seem to be lifting with the rest of them. I don't know.
Well, now Pac's back, so now Wheeler becomes even the smallest person.
Well, and Garcia too.
That's it.
Garcia and Wheeler Yuta should have a mass building contest. Whoever can put on the most bulk in the next year just gets a world title shot. Yeah, I don't know, man. The Hook is Hook. What kind of name is Hook anyway? Is it just because Taz had a single name? Now we're just calling him Hook.
I think Hook is a cool name. I think the spotlight is a cool gimmick.
No, but like Hook is like a name. Hook is a name you have to earn. Tell me why you're called Hook. You know what I mean? Like when I was in college,
because he's from Red Hook, right?
Oh, is that what it is?
I think so, right? I think that's why.
Okay, sorry, I missed that. I missed that episode.
That's just me guessing.
I was gonna say when I was in college, we were sitting around at the coffee shop and this dude came over. I hadn't really met before. He's a friend of a bunch of my friends, and he comes over and says, "Hey," and his name is Diggs. And I was like, "Is that his last name?" And they were like, "No, we just call him Diggs." I'm just like, how does he just get a cool nickname like that? He's like, I was like, from now on, I want you guys to call me Spoons. And I just like totally as a joke. I know, but like, I want if I could just make up a nickname. It's like, I want to be Spoons. And they're like, you can't come up with your own nickname. I was like, how the fuck did Diggs come up with this nickname? That's what Hook is to me. It's a fake. You can't give yourself a nickname.
Because you were thinking of just like an inanimate object. Like, there's got to be a story to why like the Hook object is comparable to you. I don't think the section of Brooklyn, probably. By the way,
Red Hook, an incredibly upscale, desirable place to live now.
Now it is, right? When Taz was there in his ECW days, Red Hook was it seemed a lot rougher, but now it's like, you got to have a big ass tech job. You got to work for Google to have a place in Red Hook now,
yeah, it's like great restaurants over there. Yeah, one of my favorite used bookstores. Come on, Red Hook. It's like on the way to the freaking.
That's where we film 7 p.m. in Brooklyn every week, man. Yeah. It's a beautiful area, especially in the summertime, for sure.
Oh, it's so nice over there.
So yeah, I guess man, what if he really started dressing like somebody from Red Hook, like just a
current Red Hook or old Red Hook?
Current Red Hook, like how Red Hook is right now.
What, he's wearing like chambray shirts and jeans or something? Like what is it? What is current Red Hook?
Sweatsuits.
Yeah.
Oh man, why are we frying Hook right now? What did he do? He didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing but just come out and suplex people and smile. Bet many more people throughout this weekend deserve more slander than we're giving Hook right now. My bad, Hook. I'm still rooting for you. I just think you're CJ Stroud right now.
I just think come on. That's rough.
Hey.
Okay, listen. Good to have Hook back, whatever.
That's the thing, he's not back. He's been around. Like, it's not like he didn't go away.
Well, he's gone for a while, but I'm saying, it's good to whatever. I don't know how you fix him. I actually think Nepo Baby would be a better character than whatever he's trying to do. Because now he just seems like a Nepo Baby trying to do a thing. I'm not insulting him for being a Nepo Baby. Like I said, being a Nepo Baby in pro wrestling, totally defensible. I mean, half of our favorite wrestlers are the kids of other wrestlers. Right? Like being born into it helps.
I'll tell you this. Wrestling is the only sport where I like you more if you're a Nepo Baby. Like if you're a son of somebody I used to root for, I'm innately rooting for you.
I'm just saying, if I were Taz, I feel like I say this all the time. I feel like half my sentences start with "if I were Taz." We're very similar people.
This is true.
If I were Taz, you always want to give your kid the best. You always want to give him a leg up. My son comes to me and he's like, "Hey, can I have an internship at the Ringer?" The answer is yes, right? Or whatever I can pull off. You can have Brian Waters' job. It's fine. Brian, I hope you're laughing at that. But of course you want to help him out. But I'm saying, if I were Taz, I probably would have told Hook to like not tell anybody his name and go work the indies for a year and see if you like get a look, see if people care about you.
I'm mad at that. I ain't mad at Hook. Just
imagine if they were like, "Oh, AEW, we're looking at this. Like, we just signed this new dude. His name's Hook. No one really knows anything about him." And then it like comes out like, "Dude, that's Taz's kid. He's been keeping his real name a secret, calling himself Hook, so he doesn't have to use his dad."
You're basically saying Hook should be Zillify too. Just be out there, just you know what I mean, with the name, but still just killing shit and just
no. I'm saying you don't know that he's Taz's kid. It'd be like if it was like Zilla Jones. Then keep it a secret.
I can see that.
Earn it. And then if it doesn't work, then you take the Nepo step. It doesn't matter. Why are we spending so much time on this?
It's a lot of time, bro.
The Demand. I'm not sure if you're familiar with The Demand. Ricochet, Bishop Khan, Toliona.
I'm not calling those guys the Demand, yo. That is the Beige Brigade, and they will be the Beige Brigade until I find out another name for those. Khan, Ricochet, those are
the
my
Demand
guys.
or the Vision. What do you like better?
Both of those names. I don't call them Division. That's that's the Bronze.
No, I'm saying you're starting a new crew, and you have to pick either the Demand or the Vision. Which one do you pick?
Sounds like a TRL pop group that knocked out 98 Degrees.
Brian's losing his shit. Brian, do you have an opinion on this? Brian
out from the top spot. Like the Demand and the Vision coming in at number 3 tonight with their new song.
No.
Anytime you're cracking up, please be on mic. Like, Brian. It really makes our day better.
The options is or. That's the answer. I'm not calling either one.
Or exactly.
Jeez, they're
the
Demand.
Ripping them trees a lot apart.
I can hear it
from here.
You can?
Yeah,
oh my god, like, there are trees. They're.
I'm like, is Terry Funk out there?
Dude. Oh yeah, Chainsaw Charlie. Dude, it is crazy. We're gonna have no trees, which is wild.
I've been thinking about that shit for months. I'm like, I just want to cut down all the trees by my house.
You gotta be careful. We have to be patient. It's so fucking expensive.
Yeah,
and you got to get licensed. I mean, Princeton's probably a little bit trickier than other places, but you gotta get the permits and everything. It's fucking nuts. It's like in Princeton, it's like if it's bigger, if the trunk is bigger than whatever 8 inches in diameter, then you got to pay somebody to do it. You just can't do it yourself. I'm just like, I can't like chop down a fucking small tree. It's like 8 inches is small, you know, like it's crazy. Anyway.
Hey, yo, I've never heard that before. But hey-o.
I don't believe in all this. We're talking about trees.
Anyway, the Beige Brigade beat the Hurt Syndicate.
I think the Hurt Syndicate was motivated to show they're willing to take the pin.
Hey, listen, they never said they're. I never got the feeling from them that they were against jobbing. They just weren't trying to job to some guys that didn't need it. And the Beige Brigade, absolutely, you know, their biggest win in their career, obviously. And it definitely helped solidify Ricochet, who was the Hurt Syndicate's first sort of target. So now there's a real story built in. Look how easy that was, guys. You made some folks, and now you got a new story to tell with some people who are new and some established guys around them. Boom.
Yeah.
I thought it was well done. Did what had to be done. Still love me some Hurt Syndicate. It's time to get Bobby Lashley into some solo stuff, though. It is time. It is time to.
What about Shelton? What about MVP?
MVP looked good, but I think the story of the match was that like he wants to help his guys, but really can't. So, you know, there's been rumors about another member of the Hurt Syndicate joining or somebody joining their ranks. So, I mean, I'd look out for that.
Specific rumors?
Not specific rumors. There was just, you know, stories about adding another member to the group. And I think, you know, having MVP
Who would you
out
put in
there,
the group? Are you talking about Cedric? Well, no, Cedric's over in TNA, right?
I don't think it'll be Cedric. I think it'll be somebody who's probably already in the AEW, but I don't know who, man. Like, it's easy to just be like, all right, well, let's think of all the black people that are that are available that are solo.
Powerhouse Hobbs, he's another guy. He's only been in like 3 or 4 crews. He could jump ship at the drop of a hat.
I mean, the funny story. I mean, the hilarious sort of, you know, choice would be the Hurt Syndicate beating the snot out of Speedball Mike Bailey and taking Kevin Nair from them, saying like, you don't need to be with this karate goof. Come hang out with us.
What if they went into and everybody thought that's what they're going to do, but then they chose Speedball instead? Speedball Mike Bailey could be the new like Owen Hart in the Nation of Domination.
Oh man, that would be funny. That would be funny. I think whoever the new member of the Hurt Business is, surprise me. Just don't go for the black guy. All right, find somebody out there that makes sense that'll make people talking. But if you're gonna go for the black guy, Kevin Knight, after killing Speedball Mike Bailey, could be really funny and make for some great internet fodder. And Lord knows I love me some good internet fodder.
It's true. All right. Hurt Syndicate, you know, happy to see him lose. Always good to see MVP out there.
Hell yeah. Shout out MVP. Good brother, man.
We haven't talked about, we mentioned Beth Phoenix. Sorry, Beth Copeland earlier. Beth, as her Jumbotron said. What'd you think about Copeland and Cage versus FTR?
Yeah.
I just think the combination of Copeland and Cage versus FTR and Cena versus Lesnar both going on so early on their respective shows just like took me out a little bit.
I'll say this. The best moment outside of the reunion of Luchasaurus, of Jurassic Express, my fault, was Adam Copeland's tribute to John Cena. That was cool.
Fun.
I love that. Probably their most viral moment that night too. But I you couldn't get me to care about these guys. You know, I just don't like. There's just nothing like.
Wait, which guys? All of the guys?
Yeah, and now you're bringing in Beth, which is just like, all right, like, I get it. Like, I think Beth is probably, going to be great for the AEW women's division if that's what she so chooses. But like, there's just something just not there with this for some reason. For me personally, I'm sure there's other people out there who are digging it. You know what I mean? And I
made my complaint last week. It's I don't know. It feels like too much of the stories happen off screen, and not even off screen in like a everybody's paying attention to it sort of way. It's just like what, like it's based on this real. I don't know.
I wasn't a big fan of like not letting that moment after the match breathe at all. Like as soon as the match was over, they were right into
AEW does that over and over again. I mean, how many moments we talk? You talked about how good of a moment the Jurassic Express reunion was, but talking about not letting a thing breathe. I mean, the Young Bucks lost a match, and then Jack Perry makes his shocking return, and then they turn on him, or they fight each other, and then Luchasaurus comes out and saves the day. I mean, it's like there's like 18 moments packed into one. You know? There's a lot letting it breathe. On the flip side, WWE sometimes lets things breathe too much.
That's true.
I mean, AEW does that too. We have talk about all the storylines that go on for like, they drop some breadcrumbs, then come back to it 6 months later. But I'm talking about letting moments breathe. And what's the biggest moment of both nights?
The biggest moment?
Like, what is that when you remember All Out 2025? What are you going to remember? The one visual. Brian, you can answer this too. Is it Edge doing the 5-knuckle shuffle? Is it the Jurassic Express reuniting? What is the visual that will last forever?
Honestly, the only thing. Like
we haven't talked about Okada Takeshita. I mean, that was a really fun match with Mascara Dorada too. But Okada and Takeshita really leaned into what could be an incredibly cool thing for them.
The only thing, the headline out of the weekend still is going to be, and it's almost unfair to compare. It's still going to be WWE and ESPN. Like
no. I'm saying, but what is the what is the one
like just in the ring
in AEW? What is the thing? What is the visual that's going to stick with you? Is it Hangman celebrating at the end? Is it Statlander shockingly winning? Darby jumping off the balcony, or Mox being on fire, or just some Eddie thing, or that Copeland doing the 5-knuckle shuffle?
Probably Cope
Jurassic Express.
I'm honestly, yeah, like Cope hitting the 5-knuckle shuffle was, sometimes you get nice, sweet moments in pro wrestling where we could all be like, "Oh," you know what I mean?
It's true,
and that's what that was. And it doesn't need to be anything too big or too small. Like a nice, I think all wrestling fans can respect a nice tip of the cap from one company to the other without being so like on the nose about it.
Mm-hmm.
And Cena throwing one out first, and then Adam Copeland throwing one back at him, and a Cena chant breaking out at an AEW pay-per-view was.
Cena's nice. Out there like tweeting about it. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah, it was very nice. It was a nice moment, and it's like, it was the best part about that is on a night where we talk so much about competition and their side, that side, blah 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 blah. I love moments that are like that, where it's just like, yeah, like we're all on the same team here. Like, I respect you, you respect me.
Do you think Cena's?
But
do you think Cena's pushing it a little bit by tweeting out a picture of Edge? I'm sure in Cena's mind it was just a thank you, but now we're just going to be like, oh, is Edge going to come be his last opponent?
No, not at all. I just think it's a nice acknowledgement. John Cena does this a lot. They're both classy. You won't find two classier dudes.
Nothing but class, these two guys.
Nothing but class between these guys, between Copeland and Cena. I thought that's probably going to be the moment that we remember more than anything this weekend, from AEW. I think we all know Hangman was walking out with that title. I think
but if we knew Hangman was walking out with the title, then why are you so sad that he did anyway?
Because I thought this weekend was an opportunity to do something to not just steal headlines from your competition, but to put your company in a trajectory that I have to watch Dynamite on Wednesday.
Also not for nothing. This is kind of a bullshit match. And I'm not going to, and let me explain.
Okay.
There are 5 people you would easily line up against Hangman before you got to Kyle Fletcher, even in terms of his in-ring ability. But come on. Kyle Fletcher versus Hangman Adam Page could have been on an episode of Dynamite. Nobody would have blinked.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Much closer to Dynamite than All In level of an opponent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why are you doing it here? Well, one, okay, we're gonna. I said it.
How many times
when we talked to Kyle? Part of it's you're leaning into the work rate of the whole thing. The thing you can do way better than WWE. But if you're gonna do this match, you got to give us reason to believe that Fletcher could win. More importantly, you got to give us reason to believe that the next time they run a match like this at a big show, that the underdog can win. It would have been a great statement to say, "Oh, we're doing this. Everything's got a purpose here." It just felt like him losing, similar to the case I made for Stephanie Vaquer, which we should talk more about in just a minute. But
God, how did I not? Yeah, we'll talk about.
You put her in this match and do everything you can to reverse build her. I don't even know what the right way to put this is. If she had lost, it would have just seemed so self-evident. Same thing with Fletcher. It just seems so self-evident that he lost. I think if you're gonna book this match. Keep that surprise on the table, man.
I know Adam Page is going to win, but there were so many stars that could have aligned to do something really cool and different. Because like you said, this could have been a match on Collision. But usually in real sports, in MMA and boxing, a lot of times when these guys who are young and underdogs get that one-shot championship opportunity and they end up winning is because a lot of competitors before them can't compete. Usually, sometimes it's the number 2, 3, and 4 contender are all injured or all fighting each other or all something like that. And sometimes the number 5 guy or the 6th guy, who's a 3 touchdown underdog, just comes down and shocks the world cleanly. It happens,
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't take away from how good the match was, but I just thought it was a great opportunity to tell a story like that. You don't get a lot of opportunities to do stories like that.
I don't disagree at all.
One thing that I've been driving it down with AEW for a long time is that they, as great as they are at mastering the stuff that we all love, they still need to master the sprints. They are great marathon runners, I think. I think all the great matches are always long. All the great title reigns are always long. I think the only cool short title reign that there's been is probably Samoa Joe. And the point of Samoa Joe having that quick, cool title reign was to establish Swerve Strickland, right? So same way, you probably could have done this with Kyle Fletcher, but in the reverse order. You could have told the story of, with Samoa Joe, who's his vet, who is legit every single time. Kyle Fletcher is the opposite way. A guy who's super talented, but not really that much of a veteran. And maybe his youthful exuberance could have gotten in the way of it. And sometimes when you can tell the story of a short title reign, that's an opportunity to do it. There's not a lot of people who meet that age range, that meet that talent scale, that have had the experience that he's had and has the talent to actually be a believable champion. that could have pulled it off. But that's not me saying it was bad, though. That was just something I thought would be cool to see, is all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean I'm saying... that doesn't take away from how good it was. I was like, man, that would have been cool if they would have did that. That's it.
I agree. I completely agree. And to see how you get yourself, you tell the story to get yourself sort of out of that situation too, I thought would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Booking with your back against the wall can produce some of the best stuff. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be with your back against the wall if this is what your plan was. But regardless, Hangman's still your champ. Who's got Hangman next? I think we're going to lean into like some Kenny Omega run back. I mean,
my gosh, sorry. How did we go this entire show without talking about the weekend MJF had? How do we go this
double loss?
entire
He
show?
lost against Mystico, and perhaps more shockingly than anything, against Mark Briscoe.
Yeah.
What do you think?
We're talking about people who the visuals we're gonna remember for the weekend. Like, it might be MJF. Like, that split screen of him in all white saying, white collar wins, and then the night before in a Homelander outfit, and then like having back-to-back, in my opinion, match of the year candidates on one weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm such a big fan of that dude, and it goes to show you do not need to win. And matter of fact, it almost behooves you to win.
Yeah.
To be shown how great a performer you can be. And I think MJF just draws real life heat better than almost anybody on either roster, where he makes people care. He makes people care better than anybody in AEW.
Yeah.
And the best thing about him making people care is that he makes you care about the people he's fighting. So now Mark Briscoe looks like a competent, championship contender. Like, he looks like somebody, if he challenged for the world title.
Competent is as far as you would go. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna win, but like, if he goes and steps up to Hangman Adam Page this week, he has a gripe. He could do it. He beat the guy who has the contract for the world title. So like, now he could go up there and face him if he wants to. But that's the magic of MJF. Like, yeah, I think he had a great weekend.
This is how you go on vacation. Take notes, John Moxley. Drop 2 matches in a weekend, show a lot of ass, and then just disappear for a while. This is how you get that honeymoon you've been waiting for. Right?
Absolutely.
Oh, man. But yeah, big shouts to MJF. I hope you get written off TV, and I hope you get to enjoy life. But
at least the weekend, bro.
At least the weekend. No, it was a good time. It was a really good time. There are too many matches. I'm not going to be one of these people that sit here and say there's too many matches on All Out, but when I'm looking at the Wikipedia page and I straight up miss 3 of them, I should be looking at my own notes. Wrestle Dreams up next.
Yes.
October 18th, St. Louis, Missouri. Well, you got a lot of interesting options, is all I'm saying. Think about that. I mean, you mentioned Bobby Lashley. I would love to see.
I'd love to see Bobby Lashley versus Hangman Page.
Yeah. Moxley won, but he did get set on fire. Okada and Takeshita seems like they're kind of going to be in their own little world. Eddie Kingston would be an interesting one for a sort of one-off situation. I don't know, man. I don't know. You still got Hangman. Swerve is well, you would know better than me. How close is Swerve to a return to the ring?
He won't be gone for that much longer. I'll say that. Not that much longer. He'll be gone.
I'm just gonna let you stew in it for a minute. Go on.
That much longer. That's all.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
So, shocking return tonight on Monday Night Raw. I'm just kidding. Listen. It was a really good. What's your overall grade? If WrestlePalooza officially deserves the C, Andreas Hale's C, what was your official grade for AEW All Out?
B+. Between B plus and A minus, I'd say.
Okay.
For All Out. Yeah. I'd say it's a B plus or A minus.
This was a, by their own track record, a fucking terrible AEW pay-per-view. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just saying those shows are so good that maybe a little bit it's just like you just don't have the energy to get like jump off my couch anymore. This was yeah, I agree. B plus, A minus. I'd go A minus. There's so many big moments. There just wasn't the big moment at the end that we were hoping for. Back over to WWE. Back over to WrestlePalooza. Back over to Mr. Hale and his anti-WWE bias. He gave Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky a B plus. Too high or too low?
I'd say it's just right.
I'd go A minus at a minimum for this one.
I probably lean towards too low, but just barely. Like, what's the
I think that when he got wrong.
What's the difference between an 87 and a 91?
Well, listen, when you're applying to college, those things matter a lot. You know, when you're actually doing the average, you're going to be like, God damn it, I just got an A minus.
Can we talk about that picture perfect corkscrew moonsault from Stephanie Vaquer? Like,
nobody
the
does it
greatest
like
corkscrew moonsault I've ever seen in my life. Like, yo, you usually don't get that much distance on it, but she cleared it and hit it so cleanly. Like, that is a statement right there. Incredible rookie year. We should start comparing rookie years about the end of this year and see where she lands.
You know, usually when we have these conversations, it's a little bit fraught because with someone like Io Sky, by the time they get to WWE, it's like they're not a rookie. They've just been playing overseas, man, at the highest level.
But they're still rookies,
Stephanie Vaquer, but the thing with Stephanie Vaquer is she's a lot closer to rookie than a lot of these outside WWE vets that come in. You know,
Stephanie Vaquer is more close to Luka Doncic than I don't know, Pablo Prigioni, right? Like,
oh, for sure.
You know, like she's
bonkers, man. And she's just the best wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean, I really think Io Sky is like the best wrestler in WWE, but this is the match. I mean, they've done it before, but this is what I said long ago is like the best match WWE could put on. If they wanted to do the all work rate, if you wanted to book an all work rate WWE PLE, you'd have this match on there. You might split them up to have more than one high work rate match, but this would be top draft pick. What on the men's side is the top draft pick of work rate matchups in WWE?
Honestly,
I mean, Gunther Dragunov is a pretty safe bet.
I'd say mostly a lot of Gunther matches will probably be on there. I mean, funny enough, this might come off crazy, but it could be the main event of Crown Jewel Perth, which is Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Like, that's a pretty damn good work rate match right there, especially given their history. But I'd like to go maybe Chad
Cody
Gable.
Rhodes. I'm trying to think. Cody Rhodes is an insane storyteller in the ring. He's very very good at being he's elite at being a pro wrestler. But in terms of just what we think of as work rate, like how many stars is Meltzer giving you, sort of work rate. It's interesting to think of Cody Rhodes as like the Mendoza line, right? Like is who Matt Cardona worse than Cody Rhodes?
Yeah.
Just bell to bell, go out there and have a clinic. Okay. But not a lot worse.
Yeah, I'd say he's a couple notches below Cody for sure.
Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes. Who's better? Strictly work rate, not storytelling.
Strictly work rate. I'd say Cody's had a better.
I think McIntyre's better.
I think Drew might be a nose hair below Cody, just because he just had this great match.
I am excited for another Seth versus Cody match. Don't get me wrong.
That's why it was kind of weird that the Cody and Drew match went the way it went. It was like this could have been a whole lot better. I expected it to be a whole lot better.
That was the worst, man. That disappointed me more than the AEW main event because I really thought. Not only would it have been cool if Drew had won, there's a real storytelling path here.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess you got to do champion versus champion in Saudi Arabia.
No Randy Orton in there, but yeah, I could see why. It's
fucking 15 minutes long, and at the end they were like, "Well, Drew hurt his leg. He's gonna have something to complain about." I was like, "Why?
Why? It's a wrestling match. You get hurt.
He lost in 15 minutes. Like, come on."
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have anybody.
On top of that, like Cody just had like probably his best match ever with John Cena at SummerSlam, and we hadn't seen him since. So it's like, at first I thought they were telling a story of like, oh man, filming movies, newborn baby, like doing a million press things for ESPN. I'm thinking they're telling a story of like, all right, it's all catching up to Cody again, but it's like, nope, Cody wins. So I was just like,
it's nuts. It's
like, I been better.
Well, and it's like you could tell whatever story you want to coming out. Drew posted this. You saw the meme that Drew posted where it was just a picture of him with the cycle of whatever. It says suffering builds character, and then an arrow, and the next thing says suffering builds character. Like every single thing says suffering builds character.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, there's some of that for the fans too, right? It's like, oh, well, Drew's got a point of contention. He's going to come out on SmackDown and say, I didn't really lose. But it's like, you know what? We're watching this. Like, we're fans. We're paying attention. We can tell exactly how much you like Drew. Drew's odds of champion, of being the champion, seem to be reflected directly to your decision that match was 15 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
And not one thing if he lost because he hurt his ankle after half an hour. But it was like, come on. I mean, it felt like Saturday night's main event. That's what you give Drew.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what it was.
And you also it was 17 minutes and 17 seconds. I want to be clear about this. They get 5 more seconds than the Vision versus versus the Usos, where Jimmy Uso hit himself in the face with a chair and couldn't finish the match as scheduled. Anyway, by the way, Brock Lesnar beat John Cena in 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Came in under the 9-minute mark. At 9 minutes, they got to pay Brock time and a half. So they got that one in just under the wire. By the way, we didn't mention Brock taking out Corey Graves on Friday. Corey Graves bumping like Dolph Ziggler out there. He looked great. So shocked and excited to see that. Although I'm sure it hurt. Sorry, Corey. Brock was also introduced on Saturday by his old advocate, Paul Heyman. You think we're going to see any Brock Lesnar Vision crossover, or is that a one-off?
I still think we're going to get Brock versus Cody. So maybe Paul Heyman.
Maybe Brock interferes in that match.
Maybe, yeah. Like I still think I think there's a way where like Brock, the Vision, get involved with Cody. Cody gets a title match. Cena helps Cody out. Costs Brock Lesnar the title. You run back Brock and Cena one more time. Or maybe Brock wins the title. And, Cena and Cody are just too much. They're not enough to overtake the Vision or whatever. Maybe it sets up war games. I don't know. But I do think that's
what I was thinking today. I was like, something. Dude, I know. I shouldn't fantasy book myself into a disappointment again. But Brock in war games?
Yeah.
I mean,
Brock.
What do you think if you're
in the cage?
Well, here's what I was gonna say. If you're Brock Lesnar, or if you're booking Brock Lesnar, what makes more sense? Brock being in the match from the start, or Brock having to stand in a cage for 30 minutes? Because
standing in the cage for 30 minutes.
I would, in any other match, I would say, yeah, Brock comes out last, right? Because Brock's a 8-minute man, Brock's a special attraction. But if he's not in the match, he's got to be standing in a cage. I don't know what Brock standing in a cage just like freaks me out. Not like I'm scared of Brock, but like what is Brock going to be doing?
There's so many jokes I'm just gonna let fly over the head about Brock standing in the cage right now. I'm just gonna let that sail out of bounds.
What do you think if you left up to Brock, doesn't it feel like Brock's gonna choose put me in the match, let me be first? Because I don't want I think Brock is losing his mind being stuck in a cage for half an hour.
I could totally see like the first person going out and then Brock just grabbing him. It's like, get the fuck back in there. And walks out in there. And they kind of did the same thing with the Royal Rumble, right? Well, like when Brock was first, they just let him just kill everybody, coming down there. And they could probably do the same thing with War Games. I think War Games has been so built up to like this crescendo of the last person coming out that they've never really done it the reverse way. It's like, what if they just had a guy who just killed everybody?
Yeah.
They were just coming out. And like that last person standing is either like John Cena or Roman Reigns or like somebody who could finally like step up to him and handle him or something like that. I don't know, but I think we're gonna get some more Brock outside of Cena in the next like couple of weeks. And I think he's either gonna not be a part of the division, but definitely be in Paul Heyman's back pocket to help Seth out and protect that World Heavyweight Championship and maybe cut him
Sam
a deal
Roberts
with,
Sam Roberts sort of winked at that in the his podcast. It's just like,
Mhm.
well, what if they're aligned, but they're not like Brock doesn't have to join. You know, Brock doesn't have to get the official spiked leather jacket.
right, exactly.
Oh, those spiked leather jackets. Would you rock that?
I would not.
If Braun Breaker gave you his official spiked shoulder leather jacket, you wouldn't wear that?
Where am I wearing a spiked leather jacket?
Well, not the airport. That's for sure.
Like, where am I wearing this? Am I wearing this to like the only place I've seen people wear spiked leather jackets are places that like I would never want to be. Like a wrestling ring is literally the only place I can see somebody in a spiked leather jacket and be like, okay, you belong here. If you see that anywhere else, you're either like in an LGBTQ club, you're either like at a motorcycle
which is
gang,
fine, yeah.
which is fine, but probably not like the first place I'm going to go hang out. Like that's, you know what I mean? Again, which is fine, you know, live your life. But not my fashion. I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't wear
Maybe
that to
like
a fashion show? I mean, that feels like you could pass that off as high fashion.
It feels like a Tizo touchdown, maybe. Like Tizo has like all the spikes in his clothes and his face, or something like that. Maybe I could do a long spike trend. Spikes and just in clothes in general. I could never pull it off, man. It's just not my swag.
I thought they looked okay. I don't totally disagree,
they
but
can pull it off.
They looked great. Don't you think? Just seeing. I love that the Brawns have a little bit more like group look. Like they actually look like a real tag team now. You know,
they all got Seth stylists now.
That's part of the package deal.
They're like,
we get advice from we get Paul Heyman out here. You get advice. No. What really matters is you
King
got
Troy.
What's his name?
They're like, we're part of the division.
King Troy. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember what rank Troy had. Yeah, King Troy.
It's like Braun and Braun are like, yes, we're part of the division, and King Troy's like, not wearing that, you not. It's just like, yeah, they have the whole montage of them going through the fitting room closets,
and the matching trunks, sort of. I mean, the whole look was just really, really good for a change.
Just Heyman, Seth, Becky, and King Troy just looking at fitting room, just going.
Shaking their head? Yeah.
No, just shaking their head, and they finally come out in the spikes.
We've left off maybe the most important thing of the whole night.
Yes.
How great was AJ Lee?
Man.
Has anybody ever had less ring rust than AJ Lee? Especially when you think about how long it's been. Who just comes back after a multi-year, how long, 10-year layoff or whatever? It just looks like they were wrestling 5 seconds ago.
Her husband? That's probably the only person I can think of. Like the match with Darby, his first match back was pretty good.
True.
Pretty good, you know? And, you know, there's, I guess, what, Edge?
John Cena disappears for a couple years and comes back looking like he's never taken a backdrop before.
Edge took 10
Even
years
Brock
off.
Lesnar. I mean, Brock Lesnar is, I guess, the king of staying fresh, but he doesn't have to do that much. That was crazy. AJ Lee is the best wrestler in WWE as far as I'm concerned. I'm just kidding. But she was very, very good. Everybody in that match came out looking better, don't you think?
Absolutely.
The only thing I didn't like about that match, I mean, listen, like I said before, there's limitations to a mixed tag match. Like you can only do so much. But they got all the stuff in. It ended the right way. My only hang up is that Seth Rollins went on to his next feud after the show, like in the post show, without any real reflection on his dynamic with his wife Becky Lynch, or how much he still hates CM Punk, or whatever else. You know,
Punk says the beef is forever, so I couldn't imagine him still not going anywhere too far. But while we were speaking, Triple H just tweeted out the poster for Crown Jewel Perth, Australia, which is in 3 weeks, and on the poster, Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, John Cena, Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, and Roman Reigns. It's a pretty stacked card. So this is going to be their second ESPN outing. They got a C grade from their own company.
Wait. I'm sorry. I'm so confused. I just got Saudi Arabia earlier, although I knew the next show was in Perth. This is Crown Jewel, but it's in Australia.
It's in Australia. It's
and presented by
Riyadh Season. It's presented by Riyadh Season. Taking place in Australia. It looks like 8 a.m. Eastern start time on a Saturday. Oh, baby, do I love that.
8 a.m.? What are you doing up at 8 a.m. on a Saturday? I guess your kids are so pretty.
I got kids, yeah. I'm like, you kidding me? I'm like, that's the perfect time. And I'm like, yes, let's bang this out early on a Saturday. Give me the rest of my day, my college football to myself. But yeah, that looks like that's going to be the next ESPN outing, Crown Jewel Perth. We have still yet to have a Roman Reigns ESPN debut, a Rhea Ripley ESPN debut. Lots of cards still to play for this ESPN stuff. And they have, WrestlePalooza was what it was. I thought it was an average, solid show. But now, they got 3 weeks to run it back. And you got John Cena smack dab in the middle of this card. What do you do with Cena here in 3 weeks? What's the play? Got 5 appearances left. This is one.
Drew McIntyre?
Maybe.
I mean, who else do you have?
Well, Seth and Cody, their dance card is full.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre is also on this card. So he won't be running it back with Cody. Roman Reigns is on this card as well. But he probably might run it back with Bronson Reed or someone from the Division or one of those guys who helped take him out or something like that.
You could probably do Punk versus Bronson Reed or whoever.
Right. I don't know, man.
You got Jey Uso, you got LA Knight, I don't even know. I don't know, man. It'll be exciting one way or the other. Wait, let's finish up with these grades.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Andreas Hale gave Usos versus the Bronze a C.
I thought that was the only match that I thought was unfairly graded.
Too low?
I thought that was too low. I thought the Usos and the Bronze was a really good match.
Jey Uso, by the way, is in the concussion protocol, having boinged himself with the steel chair.
He did tweet. He did put on his Instagram stories, put a picture of himself afterwards backstage and said he's good, quote unquote. But concussion protocol is concussion protocol, buddy. So he's probably gonna be sitting at home for at least 2 or 3 weeks.
Punk and Lee
not
versus,
taking any bumps for 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah.
Punk and Lee versus Rollins and Lynch. Andreas gave that a C. That's too low. Oh my god! You hear that?
Yeah, I hear that. I hear Terry Funk out there.
A giant tree that just landed from where the tree is in my backyard again. Like it came all the way to where I am now. Crazy.
Brian, you gotta edit in the Chainsaw Charlie music every time a tree drops.
That literally shook my chair. That tree was so big. All right, cool. Let's jump back in. Punk, no. Punk and AJ versus Rollins and Lynch is a B. Don't even try to talk to me about that. Like there's limits to a mixed tag match, but you also got to grade it on a curve. You can't just be like, oh, whatever. Yes, 2 married couples wrestling is not going to be like the greatest match you've ever seen in your life, but it kept you interested for half an hour. I mean, there's so much good stuff in that. And AJ Lee is like, dude, AJ Lee at WrestlePalooza, I feel like was as big a deal as like Cody coming back to WWE in his first match at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
it was that level of return match. Argue with me. No, I'm just kidding. Cody versus Drew, he gave a C. That's fine. I might have even gone lower. Not for lack of trying, but come on. That's all you're going to give me? And then Brock Lesnar versus John Cena, C-.
See, this is where I disagree with that a little bit too. I love squashes. More importantly,
I like squashes too.
I think people are judging this unfairly because this is John Cena and people want to see him go out with the style of matches
Blaze of Glory
with Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes and CM Punk and Randy Orton. Like, despite what people have thought about the retirement tour, like those actual matches, I think have been really good, especially the last 2. I think the match with Cody, the match with Sami Zayn, the match with Logan Paul, all 3 of those matches were great matches. And Lesnar was just like, nah, son, you're going to die.
That's what Brock does, though. You said it. I mean, I don't understand.
I don't know what people were expecting. That is what he does. That is a John Cena, Brock Lesnar match to a T. John Cena in his prime was still getting mopped up by Brock Lesnar. Like, the whole story of this has been how John Cena can't physically do this anymore. And Brock Lesnar came back looking more Brock Lesnar-y than he's ever looked in his entire life.
He looks like he ate a Brock Lesnar on the way to the ring. He looks ridiculous.
Yes, like what else did people expect to happen except making this monster look like a monster? And sometimes you got to do that, man, because
at some point, though, but at some point there's diminishing returns because
it's not, because every time Brock Lesnar comes out or every time Brock Lesnar comes back, people pay to watch it. People go to see it.
Like, I mean, that's true.
Brock Lesnar, like the reason why he makes people is because this is a Brock Lesnar match. Anytime somebody could pin this dude, anytime somebody could get a one-up on this dude, they're immediately made, because 98% of Brock Lesnar matches look just like this. You're getting your ass handed to you. If we go 50-50 with Brock Lesnar, who hasn't been seen in a year and some change, and John Cena, who literally has days left on his wrestling contract, what do you get out of that?
You know what they really should do is after announcing all this shit, if John Cena is just never seen again, that would be the most amazing ending to the Cena retirement run ever.
If they were just like, you have Adam Pearce come out to the ring and be like, I know John Cena was advertised, but
Brock Lesnar, but he was killed at the hands of Brock Lesnar.
But he's suffering from internal bleeding from the 7 F5s he took. Like that. See, that's risky. I'd do some bullshit like that. Like, but that's a risky thing to do. It's like, I know you guys thought John Cena was gonna come here, but that guy you all hate, that questionable guy that people don't think should probably be here. Yeah, he's the reason he's not going to be here. It's dangerous, but
awesome.
I don't know if I do that.
How great would it be? Brock Lesnar just comes out on every stop on the Cena retirement tour, and he's just like, nope, he's not here because I broke him in half. I'm just saying there's diminishing returns on Brock, and I'm not saying it's now. I'm just saying at some point there's diminishing returns on Brock Lesnar because he's not going to be around forever. But who knows? Maybe Brock Lesnar can work until he's 90. He looks like he's as good as he's ever looked.
No.
And if you just if 8 minutes is your match time limit, you can keep doing that forever. Who knows?
You kind of got to get him into the world title picture too. If you're just here to beat up Cena, you got to at least make him look like a challenging threat to everything that we like about the company. I put him in the title match at Perth or a title match at Survivor Series if I were them.
Yeah, it could happen. Who knows? Yep. Brian H. Waters, did you get kicked off our recording session here? What was what was the biggest moment of the wrestling weekend for you?
I gotta go with Punk and AJ. Just
what was the vision? Is that I asked Kaz about All Out, and I agree. I think the 5-knuckle shovel probably what goes down in memory, not by a wide margin. I just don't think it's like Hangman's last shot could have been it if it had been somebody besides Fletcher. Again, what kind of the problem with putting Kyle Fletcher in that shot is that I don't know how much it does to help Hangman. But anyway, what is the lasting image of WrestlePalooza? Kaz, Brian, you go first.
Yeah, is it the Wrestling Palooza? It's it's Punk and AJ, but it's really seeing them celebrate. You just saw like this happiness from CM Punk, and I've been saying like since he's come back to WWE, he's been like a happy Punk. But this felt like this completed everything. Like he's got his wrestling life, he's got his wife. They're both back, and they both said like they wasn't necessarily clamoring, but it's hard to not think like they were pioneers on the way we get wrestling nowadays, right? Seeing guys like Seth Rollins, seeing the women's wrestling division, they are now getting to enjoy the fruits of their labor. And just to see all this come together, it was great.
I agree. Seeing them celebrate, seeing them happy, seeing whatever. By the way, I only have one complaint. You saw Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch out there in their matching ring attire.
They look like the Pop-Tarts?
Yeah. They were out there repping for like Depression Awareness Month or something like that. Like no complaints there.
It was Suicide Awareness Month. Yes. And
AJ
Punk and AJ had. My fault. Go ahead.
No, you go for it.
Yeah, no, Punk and AJ were wearing, LGBTQ colors, wearing rainbow on their stuff. So it was like,
no, that's great. But here's the thing: Becky and Seth were matching. Punk came out in the jacket at the beginning that said AJ's husband. If Punk really wanted to show solidarity, you know what the best thing would have been?
If he had the Chucks,
Daisy Dukes. If it had just been his normal briefs, but denim, and stitched on stars across the front, how great would that have been? Punk in the jean briefs would have been the most iconic thing of all time. The Chuck Taylors would have been fun too. Anyway, it was a fun day of wrestling. If you're gonna have 2 shows back to back, I don't need anything higher than a solid B-, and we got a good A-, I think, from AEW. But WWE it was what it was. I don't really have any complaints. I can both say C's about right, and also it was freaking great. Whatever.
I file a motion for us to stop using Meltzer stars as the
What happened to the Kaz rating?
I got lazy. the meaty scale. People stopped. We stopped getting the meat scale, man. They fired all the big fun wrestlers. The only person left is Bronson Reed. So, Big E's hurt. Braun Strowman's not wrestled no more. Roman's there every couple of weeks, months, maybe. They can't. But I file a motion for Andreas Hale to be the new foremost authority on wrestling and pay-per-view reviews. We're not doing Wrestle Stars no more, guys. Let today be day one. Never in my life have I seen. Maybe not since 2012 have I seen a review of a pay-per-view take up my entire timeline like Andreas and this C for WrestlePalooza.
From now on, if anybody has anything to say about Andreas, this is what we're doing. Our response is just I know, but the same as Meltzer. But you got to respect him after all that he's done, and he's just the guy that you listen to about these ratings. I support everything.
Y'all ready for the updates? The standings?
Yeah. Yeah. We made our bets.
All right.
We made our bets.
All right, so I'll start with AEW. Kaz, you were 4-1.
Oh!
With Thekla being your 1L. Dave, 2-3.
Dang.
Darby and Tony Storm. I was incredible 5-0. And Ben Cruz.
It's an incredible 5-0.
And Ben Cruz 4-1. Now.
Oh, wow.
So now let's move on to WrestlePalooza. Kaz, 3-0.
No.
Dave, 3-0.
Yeah.
And now it's 1-2 here. And Ben, 3-1.
Okay.
So now, for the final standings, we have Kaz, you are 10-6. Dave, you are 9-7, and me and Ben are both 12-4.
Okay,
whoa.
I'm climbing back. All right.
How did I f this up? All right. Well, we're changing the rules next time so I can win. Anything I pick is weighed double. Let me just make that a rule. All right. We're going to get this back on track. I firmly believe it. Anyway, that's your WrestlePalooza All Out /WrestlePalooza recap episode. We'll be back on Thursday with all kinds of shocking new stuff. Kaz, you want to get some plugs in on your way out?
Say Less live, my podcast, youtube.com/Kazeem, everywhere on socials, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all the good stuff.
Is that it?
Yeah.
It's kind of faded out there.
My bad. I had the burp.
Oh, I got it. All right. Well, thank you, Kaz. Thanks to our producer, Brian H. Waters. Thanks to our EP, Ben Cruz. Thank you all for listening. Finn Balor's going to be okay. Ooh, your mama. We'll see you back here on Thursday, humanoids.
Peace.